You will feel lonely. The point of this is not to feel lonely. It's for me to help and give you tools so that when you do feel lonely, you don't feel like it's the end of the world. This is Mindset by Natalia and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to master living alone. If this is your first time, that you've never lived alone or you've always been with your parents, any situation where you're moving in and out, you're feeling a little anxious, a little insecure about how it's going to go, this video is for you. Here's what I have to say. Living by yourself can either be the best decision of your life or the worst decision. But here's the thing, it all breaks down to how you view it. It is your choice as to call out whether it's going to be the best experience ever in such an amazing moment in your life, or something that you're going to choose to just look the other way and keep complaining about how much you don't like it. This, like, all in all, anyone I've ever seen actually live alone, like no roommates in their own space, whatever it might be, I always hear the best feedback. If you have the opportunity to live alone, this is a blessing. You are about to be so abundantly blessed with things you did not even realize. You're going to start to know yourself like you never before knew yourself. You're going to gain confidence. You're going to start planning things. You're going to decide what kind of person you want to be. If you're living alone, it's because you've already done the living at home with your family, living at home with your parents, living with roommates, living with people who have very different cleaning styles than you, for example. No matter the situation that you're in, though, this is an opportunity for you to simply choose exactly who you want to be. And this is also a very crucial moment because this is the moment you decide, what kind of person do I want to be? Like, who is the adult version of me that I want to be? I've had different experiences all throughout my life. Sometimes I lived with multiple people, like 50 people I lived at one point. Sometimes I've lived with just a few. Sometimes it was with my family. Sometimes I lived alone abroad. Sometimes I lived alone and did a homestay with a different family in a different country. I've had a lot of these different opportunities to see myself in different environments, living alone, living with people. Now, what I can tell you that I truly believe, so at one point I lived in France. I lived in Paris. I lived on the outskirts of Paris, and what I realized when I lived alone there for maybe like 3 months. That was one of the hardest times of my life. I was dealing with a breakup. I was dealing with so much loneliness. I had just done my study abroad experience in Spain, and now I was moving to France for a couple months, and I was just alone. Talk about not knowing a single person when I got there. Like, not seeing anyone, like not being, also I wasn't like city central where it was like, oh yeah, just go outside and you just see hundreds of people. I felt so lonely, I remember. And I remember that my days were filled with like this intentionality of, I want to do things, I want to get up, I want to go explore, but almost like the depression kept me from doing that because I was just so sad about so many things happening. Also, I speak a little bit of French, but I'm not Miss Fluent, so it's also not like I'm just going outside and I can just chat it up with the person next to me at the bar. Like, there were so many things, and of course a lot of this was just mental limitations that I made on myself, but this was a point where I was like, if I can make it living alone in a country where I don't fluently speak the language, where I don't know a single person living here, I know that I'm gonna be okay. When I came back, like, and I started speaking the languages that I knew at home, and I started having roommates again, I was like, what? Like, amazing. But like, the experiences that I grew through in living alone when I was in France were just unmatched. There was nothing in my life has ever made me grow so much. And that was also the period in my life where I was just kind of starting my self-development journey, and I was listening to podcasts and journaling and going through like a lot of past traumas and healing them, and so many things were going on. I was also reading the Harry Potter series for the first time, which was amazing. That definitely was a little highlight of that point in my life. But, and that was the thing too. I was traveling quite a bit too. I went back to Spain. I was traveling like all across Europe at that time too while I was in France. And I was like, there needs to be like, this is why I always say whenever you go abroad, whenever you think you're going to achieve that, like, this is how I know that I made it moment, it normally never is. It's always about the build up to it. Even in this scenario, like, people might be saying, how can you tell me that you were lonely when you were living in Paris, when you were doing all these amazing things and travels And the thing was, like, I just had to learn how to love my own company. I had to learn how to do all of these things for myself. Here's your first tip. Plan your social times. This is going to be a little bit different if you consider yourself to be an extrovert or an introvert. So this is how I'm going to say it. My extroverts need to plan their in alone time, and my introverts need to plan their social out times. So whatever it is that just doesn't come innately to you, you have to plan that out, and you just have to stick through it. Whether it's taking a class, like literally like some kind of art crafty class, going out, meeting people, going to your gym, starting up classes there, anything where like you can meet some people too and have conversation, not just like keep to yourself and go read a book at a park. Like you can do that, but this is like specifically for like socializing with people. Okay, once or twice a week, I am going to push myself to do this. I'm going to remind myself that it's for my good and mental sanity that I go out and I look at the world and I explore things. Same vice versa, people that love to live outside and never come home, whether it's just to sleep at night, those people need to plan some indoor time. So maybe I'm going to stay in for dinner 3 nights a week and I'm just going to cook and I'm going to put on some music and I'm going to light some candles and do something like that. Romanticize the time that you do spend alone. It can be so boring to just have the same exact routine, wake up at this time, go to the gym at this time, eat the same foods every day. I don't know how people do that. There needs to be joy and love and laughter in your life. There needs to be something that makes you extra motivated. And that can be anything. That can be in the morning, I'm going to go to the gym, but on my way back, I'm going to get myself a coffee. Or I'm going to walk around the park, but then in the last couple minutes, I'm just going to roll down the hill at the park. Like, just bring in the silliness and the goofiness into this. So again, when we're talking about specifically at home, do go the extra mile to buy just a few things that are going to make your experience elevated. Get a candle that smells good, okay? Put up actual frames. Like, at this point, we're like beyond I'm putting up posters in my room. You are probably having your first job now, or you've been having your first job. Like, you can do these things for yourself and not have to feel guilty about them. The more that you romanticize your space and how it feels for you, it will carry such a good energy that you will want to come home. You're going to be like, I get to just go home after work and be alone and just do whatever I want. It's gonna feel like the best thing in the world. This is the chance to meet new people. This is your chance that wherever it is you're moving, or even if someone moved out, this is your chance to rebrand yourself as you come as a one package now. You can meet neighbors, people that live next to you, people who you are taking classes with or courses. Whatever it is that you're doing, this is the opportunity and the moment to meet new people. Whenever you meet new people, there can be, I don't know, maybe a little bit of anxiety, or you don't know how they're going to accept you and all of these things. But at the end of the day, you know what's going to be really lonely? When you have no one to go out with, when you have no one to invite over for a nice dinner at your house, when you don't have any kind of socialization in your life, it's going to feel really, really hard. And I'm telling you, like, if you live in a country where you already speak the language, you're like 10 miles ahead of me, okay? Like, there is no excuse. I remember thinking that when I, again, lived abroad, and I was thinking, like, when I go home, I am just going to talk to anyone and everyone I ever see. It was just this idea of, I can't believe how much we take for granted the things that we just get to do. You get to just communicate with people. You get to introduce yourself. You get to just make friendships so easily. You're going to schedule a routine. I'm going to wake up kind of at the same time every morning. I am going to do different types of exercises, but I'm always going to at least have some time for that. I'm going to block out this big chunk of time for my work. Or maybe I'm starting up a business, so after work, I need to schedule 2 hours that I need to dedicate to this every single day. I'm not someone that thinks like you need to do the same thing every day. I honestly think that is kind of the opposite point of life. Like, you should be having new experiences, and you should have moments where you didn't expect things to go the way that they did whatsoever. Life does need a routine. Again, you're an adult, you're growing up, you need to have a sense of like keeping yourself accountable more than just your job. I see that in a lot of people, and this is why I don't think that a lot of people build actual self-discipline. What they do is build actual like compliance to the people that they work for. Like, if you have a 9-to-5 job, but on the weekends you would wake up at 12 and go to bed at 3 in the morning, Like, I don't really know if that routine that you're having on the weekdays from 9 to 5, like, are you choosing that, or is it just because your job is telling you that you need to show up at that time? Have a comfort backup. This is why this video is not called, oh, how to master living alone and never feel lonely. You will feel lonely. Like, it's part of the experience, but just because it's part of it doesn't mean it needs to be a bad thing. You will feel lonely at times. It's normal. We are humans. We need to be around other people. We need to experience other people and have a community and a sense of belonging around us. That's why we live in community. That's why we have so many apartment complexes all over the world. It doesn't matter what culture you come from, like, we like to live in unity. Make a list of the things that bring you comfort. Is it a favorite show that you like? Is it a certain dessert that you like to make? Is it a person that you call and just like every time you call them, they just make you feel so much better? What is your like safety blanket? Something that always brings you back home. Is it speaking in your native language? Have that around you, because I promise you, you will need it at times. You will feel lonely. The point of this is not to feel lonely. It's for me to help and give you tools so that when you do feel lonely, you don't feel like it's the end of the world, right? A pros list of everything that you get to do now. And this is going to be completely up to you. You can choose to have the dishes in the dishwasher for 3 weeks if you want. You live alone. Now no one's going to tell you have to take them out. If you are super neat about your things and you're like, oh my goodness, I am so excited for the fact that my apartment is just going to be smelling so good, write that down. If it's something like, I get to choose the furniture that I buy this time around. I don't have to just go along with what 5 of my other roommates wanted to do and wanted to buy. I can stay up until 3 a.m. and play video games. No one is going to tell me to be quiet and go to bed. You know what I'm saying? Just write a list of all the positive things that are going to happen, because now you just simply get to live alone. All the little things that people used to tell you or you used to have to tell them, all those things that annoyed you about having roommates, notice the fact that you don't have any of those problems anymore. And that is what at one point you wished for. You wished, I just wish that they could pick up their socks. I just wish that they could do this. Now it's all you. You get to say what happens. And when guests come over to your house, you get to be like, oh, actually, I don't use shoes inside of my house. Oh, actually, I'd like it if you leave the toilet seat down when you are using my restroom. Whatever it might be. It's a funny case. But whatever it might be, this is the thing that you wanted. This is a valuable experience that you might never get again. The fact that you get to live on your own at one point in your life is a blessing. And I think more and more younger people see this, maybe in our parents' generation and certainly in our grandparents' generation. It was likely like you go from one house to maybe university, if you do that, maybe not. And then you kind of go to your partner's house, like your husband, your wife, whoever your partner is, you're going to go to their house right afterward. And nowadays it's much more like, okay, you go from your family, then you probably have some roommates, then maybe later on you live alone. Then maybe you actually end up like settling down and living with someone. Let me tell you something, this period will not last forever. You will very likely not live alone for the rest of your life. Even if you do, even if that's just a choice that you have, you will likely move. You will likely go to a different house or a different apartment. You will move and shift in some way, okay? The likelihood that you just settle down in one spot and you never move again, you never live with anyone, like that's not likely. So take advantage of the things and the opportunities that this brings you. You might never again live alone. This is what I always say, even with dating and relationships. You never know when the last person you date is going to be the one. When it's going to be the last time, like the last person that you end up with. And we spend so much time worrying, will I ever find someone? Okay, yes, you're going to, okay? Just like this, like you will likely live with someone else, a roommate again or a partner, but you might never get this alone time back. This moment where you just got to live for yourself, where you just got to live powerful experiences and see the world in a different way and be in a new environment. Like this is your time to grow. This is like if this were a movie, like you're the main character right now. You get to say exactly what happens. And maybe this is like on the micro, like, yeah, you just get to choose your living situation, but you'll see that this amplifies to the macro. You will see how many choices you have, and every single choice is up to you. You get to decide. You put in a vote for yes or a vote for no for the kind of person that you want to be. You are building up your future as we speak, and this is the opportune time to live on your own, to experience life, to experience the joys. This is a blessing. Never forget that it is, because it truly is. It probably won't stay forever. Enjoy it while it's here, okay? Every phase of life comes to an end. That's why we have evolution. Things change over time. But that's why we have the importance of the present moment, because this present moment is the only one that matters right now, okay? You don't have to worry about what is going to happen in the future or what already happened in the past. You are here to just enjoy what you have right now. With all that being said, thank you for watching today's video. I see you, I hear you, I'm rooting for you, and I'm so excited to see how living alone just makes you go on fire. You're gonna have an amazing experience doing this. I wish you all the best.